As I wrap up leadership programs, the one question that I'll ask is, where do you think the biggest hangup will be? And a lot of people will say time management, but I left them with some good time management tools, and we'll have some follow up virtual sessions also to work through those time management tools. But the second thing that they say is having the actual conversation with their team. That means giving constructive feedback. That means within their team having that healthy conflict, because we need to have the conversation. And so bringing DISC database science to the table can kind of guide you on that conversation and what technique to use depending on who you're in front of. So let's take a quick look. So D's is our dominance. Those are our reds. And we want to approach these type of work styles with clear and direct plans. They want results. So we want to give them quick solutions. I's, which are our influence, and those are our yellows. Those are the people-centric type of behaviors that you might be seeing in your team. And those people, you want to keep it upbeat. They like to be around a team that's energized, and they value appreciation and the need to feel included. So you want to make sure that they have a role to play in the team, in the project when you leave that meeting. S, which is our supportive or our greens, they want to know that everything's not changing at once. So can you offer reassurance and time for that adjustment and that change curve to happen, because they value stability. So when you talk to them about what needs to change or giving that constructive feedback, you want to make sure that they not only have a plan of what to move forward, but also what they're doing really good at, what they should be consistent at, because they want to see the stability that not everything needs to change. And then C's, which are compliance, those are our blues. We want to provide details to them to give time to think it through. They do need that think time. They need that time to reflect on what they just learned. And then that brings some accuracy and structure on how they want to act before the next meeting with you, or the behaviors they do want to change. So if you say, hey, based off of this feedback, what do you think are some actions you can take? They might not have an answer. Give them a day or two to get back to you, and they will have a really good plan in place because they will be committed to it. But you got to give them time to reflect on the conversation, reflect on the instances that maybe were brought up where their behaviors need to change, and then you can move forward with a structured plan to hold them accountable. Now, utilizing DISC can be helpful in all areas of your organization, not just communication. So in the assessment report, the individual's getting why their work style works well with others, where there's going to be conflict with other work styles. They're going to get their internal motivators so that they know the project teams or maybe even roles that they could apply for within your organization. I even had a new hire tell me that his fiance utilized his report to understand him better, and they brought it to some of those premarital counseling sessions. So that was kind of interesting that he basically gave her the assessment and said, this is why I am the way I am. And he was a high D, very direct, very fast moving, and she was not. So it brought a lot of clarity to what he needed to move things forward without rushing her. So that assessment report for the individual brings a lot of clarity. And then in my DISC package, I do have a full year of tools that will be emailed so that it keeps it fresh. And these are just bite-sized nuggets of learning so that people can continue to learn about these other styles that they might not know about. And as we know, if you can bring more understanding with other people's styles, it can reduce conflict, and it can bring healthy conflict conversation to your organization so that people aren't hiding and they're bringing up when maybe things need to be addressed, when gaps need to be corrected. And that's the energizing team you want to be on, is the team that's moving forward. There's also supplemental materials such as team wheels, so you can make sure that you're not too heavy in one area, or maybe you want to be heavy in one area of work style because that's what the job demands. So that's kind of job matching, job profiling. And then we do workforce training. I did DISC probably 15 years ago, and only a few of us did it. The consultant never trained us, and so it was just a piece of paper in my desk. I learned a little bit, but without that implementation of training, I really didn't understand DISC until the last couple years when I got trained, and then I got certified as a behavioral specialist. So we want to make sure that your team really understands not only their work style, but they start to understand how to read these graphs. And because they're pictorial, because they're color-coded, it's pretty easy and practical to apply these tools. But the more you can integrate it in your operation, the more that it takes flight on its own. I even had a client that they had it where their profile pictures, because they were very virtual workforce, their profile pictures had their work style right in their profile picture, so that the moment you had a meeting and someone was speaking, you knew what they needed. And that's the goal, is let's reduce stress and conflict through understanding each other's behaviors. If you're interested in learning more, go ahead and check out the other videos under the workforce management playlist, where you can learn a little bit more about time wasters and de-stressing through DISC. And then go head out to my website and let's have a meaningful conversation on how DISC can not only leverage up your organization, but energize your teams.